Welcome to the MSDW Podcast. I'm Jason Gumpert from MSDynamicsWorld.com. My guest today is Lisa Craig, Director of Channel Marketing at CafeX. If you're in the Dynamics 365 CRM space and you haven't heard of CafeX or their Live Assist 365 product, you probably haven't been paying attention in the last year. They are a close partner of Microsoft when it comes to the next phase of the Dynamics omnichannel customer service story, and they are also a serious participant in the effort to advance the bot story that Microsoft wants to tell around business applications. Lisa, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Jason. Glad to be here.
So, CafeX became Microsoft's preferred omnichannel customer service solution in late 2016, right? But that was after months in which you were already partnering together on a solution related to Dynamics 365.
Right. A lot of behind the scenes, code development of the actual solution first.
Right. And so there was that initial launch, and there's also been a second release, the Cosmos release from July, so a few months back now, that added capabilities. So maybe we could start by, you could tell us a little more about yourself and your role, and then where the CafeX relationship with Microsoft is today.
Sure, glad to. So, as you mentioned, I'm the Director of Channel Marketing at CafeX, and I've been here about a year and a half. Happens to coincide with this great work we've been doing, as you said, around the Dynamics 365 relationship with Microsoft. So it's been a really great year of corporate and personal growth. And in terms of our relationship with Microsoft, it continues to really strengthen. We continue to gain a lot of positive traction and joint results. And in fact, we've been benefiting as Microsoft's OCP, One Commercial Partner programs are really starting to take shape now, in the build with and the go to market and the sell with initiatives.
That's interesting.
Working closely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
interesting to
know
hear
it
about
might
the
be an
OCP.
anomaly, huh?
Well, maybe you could tell us a little bit about, since you brought it up, because I know we were both at the Extreme 365 event last
Right.
week, right? And that was really one of the main themes, I think, at the event, was people trying to get their heads around OCP. So could you maybe tell us a little more about your perspective on how it's been rolling out and how it's been
Sure,
impacting you?
I'd be glad
Yeah.
to. And I think, we have a um, benefit, if you will, of being born in the cloud with Microsoft and their programs. And so have been part of that evolution with them as they've then now codified their program under OCP. So we don't think we have a lot of old ways of doing business. So we have the luxury of really just enhancing what we've done the past year and a half with them in the go-to-market space, and now modeling it after some of their key programs. For example, starting to tap into some targeted vertical markets, if you will, like finance and healthcare, which, as you heard again last week, is a big focus for Microsoft. So
Right.
for us, it's been a very positive, strengthened engagement, and we're working hard to continue it that way for not only our work with Microsoft, but our mutual partners and customers.
So one of the things they were talking about that I didn't know much about before that was um, the idea of sort of these solution maps, and it makes sense, but I hadn't heard that discussed before. Was that something that it sounds like you were probably pretty comfortable trying to point your finger and put it on the spots where.
Yeah, exactly. We are, and we've begun that process in terms of starting to dig in, for example, in the financial services area. Really, we do have some early innovative customers already in those verticals, for example. And so now building that out so we can share that methodology, if you will, and our expertise and the solution with first the Microsoft sellers and then, through our mutual partner network.
Yeah, and I know that from other conversations about the CafeX partnership with Microsoft, that a lot of effort has been put into um, the partner channel and building out those relationships.
Yep.
How's that been going? What's the latest with that progress?
So yes, we do have our own partner programs that are targeted, obviously, to Microsoft's um, CRM and Dynamics 365 partners. And we offer both a reseller or a referral agency type agreement. It's been continuing to build traction, as we learn together with our partners how to really streamline the value prop and the customer journey. In particular, we have some of the large GSIs, for example, like an Avanade, working very closely with us. They've built in Live Assist for Dynamics 365 into their solution demonstrations and into their core notes of training. So we're working with a lot of both the larger GSIs as well as some of the smaller reseller partners through our program.
Well, and I'm gonna put when we post this, I'm gonna put a link into some of the coverage we did of the Cosmos release, which was about 5 months, 4 or 5 months ago now. What are some of the new Live Assist features and product priorities that CafeX has planned for the coming
Yeah,
months?
so in terms of new features and things, for a SaaS firm, features need to be refreshed and dynamic, every pun intended. So we've been working hard on continuing to enhance our solution. As you mentioned, our latest release was around very focused with bot integration, which is very important as we all look at how to better engage with customers and really give especially the millennials the information they want as fast as they want it while still looking at personalized customer service. So we focused a lot on that bot solution and some enhanced user experience pieces and features that we've heard from our agents that have been early adopters of our solution. When we look forward, we're going to be adding voice and video as well in the coming months and starting to activate more of the sales workload, if you will, in addition to the customer service application within our solution.
Yeah, that certainly
So
makes sense.
yeah. So for example, the contact center agent has different nomenclature and processes, right? It's an open ticket maybe or a customer service problem. And then for the sales team, right, it's an opportunity or a lead tracking. And we have a lot of that same infrastructure and flow, but we want to now tailor it more to that sales role. We've been asked by our number of our customers to start to do that.
Yeah, I would. I'm just thinking back. One demo I've seen Microsoft do recently sort of shows off that process uh, in a demo scenario that just sort of, and I always just use that as an indicator of what they're thinking is a kind of a cool new capability. So
Right.
someone starting in a chat bot for a sales opportunity and being transferred through to a human.
Exactly. So take a broader view than, a typical customer service engagement and, work that with your prospect. And we have a lot of campaigns that can also tie into that. And again, tightly integrated with Dynamics 365 in their sales workload.
One of
And
the
we're
sorry,
also,
go
oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jason.
One of the things I think I recall from past past conversations or interviews was that to an extent the Live Assist program is sort of bot agnostic. Is that right? So it could be something coming
Right.
from
You can,
Microsoft or.
sometimes we have a BYOB phrase, bring your own bot, if you will.
Hmm.
And it works with the Microsoft bot framework. So that's the core of it, but it does allow you to bring in different solutions that you might already have and want to build upon based on that framework.
So
And
you're
so
not going to go with bot agnostic. You're going to go with bring your own bot.
go with bring your own.
Okay, I'll use that.
I don't know if it sounds friendlier
I think
on
it
this
does.
afternoon.
Clearly, I
Okay.
didn't.
But yeah, the idea is that though we're really providing a simplified way to connect those points, instead of talking about it, we really have been seeing both developers take a lot of advantage of this and people without that big experience in developing be able to really um, point to some specific applications within their organization, especially for those repeat questions that you want to offload a live agent from. I forgot my password, or when is the pool open, in a
Hmm.
hotel
Yeah.
solution. We actually have some customers now in the hospitality market. And so
Okay.
freeing up um, those important but repetitive questions, and then that frees up time for the skilled agent to talk more about maybe cross-selling that customer
Hmm.
or helping them with a much deeper problem.
Would that fall into sort of the category of deflecting communications away from the live agents, and is that the same concept?
Exactly.
Okay.
But with a big difference of when you do want to transfer or escalate to a live person with the CafeX solution, all of that previous conversation, quote unquote, with the bot is also transferred and available to the live agent. So she also sees the whole context ahead. So you're deflecting when it's okay and still solving a customer's problem, but then moving it along with a personalized, escalation to when you need it.
Makes sense. Um, and have you had any, lessons learned or experiences that you can talk about from end users who've already been working with the solution until now?
Yeah, yeah, we sure have. One really on the more anecdotal side this week, we heard with a trial customer in a large healthcare organization in the UK was saying that the agents told our team that it's really fun. And I know that may not come as a lesson learned, but we work hard to make that user interface intuitive and to empower the agent. So to hear some of our prospects and customers say it was fun to use is a nice hallmark, that our engineers really loved to hear when we reported that back. On more of the business side of lessons learned, we're seeing our customers are telling us that they're not only handling calls more efficiently, but attracting a whole new profile of users. In particular, a customer who has added this live chat and co-browse feature on their website and they anticipated having their existing customers use that feature more. They're finding that they're hearing from a whole new set of customer users who had previously abandoned their page. So that's exactly the kind of, lesson we want to hear, so we can also be building more robust features like that for our customers.
And I am curious about maybe the kinds of customers that you're finding are the best fit for the solution, who are, also Dynamics CRM or 365 customers, because it is quite a range of different kinds of companies or
It
organizations using it.
is.
Um, do you have kind of standard guidance on that for companies that are thinking, maybe I should look at this solution, or maybe it's not the right fit, either in
You
terms
know,
of
I
skill or size or anything else?
Well, it's that focus on the customer, and I know that sounds cliche, and but that really is a common core. I mean, when you look at the logos we've won this year, as you say, they really vary from just global 100 companies to small mom and pop furniture retailers. So it's that core focus on the customer, and we're also learning that it depends who is defined as the customer. For example, in some of our best target customers, they look at their customer as their internal employee. And we have companies like HP, for example, using it first for their HR and IT organizations. So their customer is an internal customer. They're also rolling it out externally. Some of our healthcare customers are looking at their patients right, as the customer. So patient engagement. So it really does vary across industries and across size, but the commonality has been this heartfelt passion for, improved customer experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it, I honestly haven't met, CafeX customers personally, but it takes me back to sort of a related solution, which was the Parature solution, which kind of predates the CafeX relationship with Microsoft. And I remember, just this is an anecdote, meeting people who were sort of responsible for customer service in a lot of these companies that had been Parature customers, and they really range. I mean, it really, like you said. The people who did a great job with customer service were the ones where the organizations, I guess, empowered a person or a team, even a very small team, to be responsible for providing that experience to whoever it
Right. And I
was, right?
think that's also why they look to that tight integration. So as they're
Mm-hmm.
already a Dynamics 365 customer, they don't have to learn new skill sets on their IT side. It's single pane of glass for their agent, and easily accessible by their customers.
Yeah,
Um,
I really look forward to you know Microsoft putting more of those stories up when they. And I know they love to talk about bots, but I think there's the people behind that as well who are sort of managing those experiences who are important to sort of feature.
Absolutely. And also, that whole customer service manager has now been elevated in their importance because of the demands of the consumer. So it's really not just an IT discussion anymore or a back office customer service discussion. It's with that whole, CEO, customer experience officer, in some of these larger corporations now too.
All right, great. I thought it was interesting that Microsoft is seems to be slightly starting to try to turn the ship with Dynamics with some new offerings, and the one that I thought was most related to Live Assist or to CafeX, at least in terms of theme, was their announcement that they're going to have a Dynamics AI sort of solution, and I thought there might be a tie-in to what CafeX does there. Is there um, some connection to those plans?
Well, we continue to do a long-term joint roadmap discussion around a lot of the different aspects there. I'd say, from my perspective, that the way we're utilizing our bot integration based on the Microsoft core framework will be the same kinds of things you'll see as we progress with Microsoft, making sure it's a synergistic co-developed solution.
All
And
right.
some of it depends how you define AI, right? And that's one of those broad terms. So I think it's early days, Jason, for that. But our engineering team can definitely give us some more insight within the next couple months.
All right. So what else is next for CafeX and Microsoft together? I thought that geographic expansion might be one of the areas.
Well, we are global to date, and have global data centers supporting customers wherever Microsoft Dynamics 365 is offered. So we do have that geo reach. I think what you do start to see though are more prevalent applications outside the U.S. But we really have been thinking back through, very global in our presence and customer base already. It's more now a rollout. Again, getting back to Microsoft's OCP programs, sometimes things start in the, nearer to headquarters, right? In Seattle, but the programs are global, and so we'll keep mapping with their programs as well. But we have partners globally already today, ready to go.
And in terms of your own, focus and you, in your own role, are there Are there things that you're going to be focusing on in, let's say, working with the Microsoft partners that are out there that are either already engaged or that you're looking to sort of build relationships on? Is it more focus on your existing partners, or is it on building broader channel?
Well, it's a little of both. What we want to do is really work even closer with our existing and highly engaged partners. We're looking at some different incentive programs and potentially some bundling programs with them, with the eye to make it a really simplified end customer journey, so that we can take out any friction in customers' path who wants to, get started with Dynamics and Live Assist. We are also looking now, as I mentioned, with our vertical focus, mapping to financial and retail and healthcare, for example, as top ones within Microsoft's range. And so we'll be looking to partners who can add that industry presence there as well.
I guess the last thing I wanted to just sort of touch on was to get a little more insight from you about your the company's relationship with Microsoft. It seems like CafeX has fostered a deeper relationship than a lot of partners I talk to, a lot of solution vendors who do go to market together. Is there anything else that you would maybe offer up as advice to other vendors out there who work with Microsoft or would like to, but don't feel like they're close enough right now, based on your relationship or your partnership?
Yeah, I think, there are so many things a partner could do with Microsoft, but having that either the savvy or the guts or and luck to pick the ones you can focus on really well with them. So that's why we are, for example, picking a few vertical markets and particularly building out our expertise in the customer engagement and the sales workload relationship. So while there's so many opportunities, it's the challenge really to focus on some of them with Microsoft, in my opinion, having done this with other companies, and then, do that cross-functionally from sales and marketing and engineering. Does that make
Great.
sense, Jason? I don't know if that
makes
answered
sense.
your question, but otherwise you can just do that peanut butter approach and get no results.
I mean, I think that does reflect what I was trying to take away from going back to hearing the U.S. OCP team talking at Extreme, and they want. It sounded like they want vendors to be targeted and to give them a really clear picture of where they can help Microsoft, like where are they really going to fit in. And I don't think peanut butter is gonna cut it, spreading across the entire solution map.
I think it's a big piece of steak. They have to put down some places to continue the food analogy, maybe.
And really sort of picking those spots where it's going to really add some zest.
Right. And then, of course, listening to the voice of the customer, which we all know to do, but to keep that as the end user customer focus as well.
All right. Excellent. Well, I think we'll end it there. Lisa, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been really interesting catching up with you today.
My pleasure. Thanks, Jason.
This has been another episode of the MSDW Podcast. My thanks to Lisa Craig for joining me today. You can reach me by email, jgumpert@msdynamicsworld.com. Until next time, this is MS Dynamics World signing off.